Hello world. Hello everyone. I am Joey Mangalindan, Training Manager of PMC Business Systems Inc., the training arm of Power Max Center. Inspired by Apple's Everyone Can Code and Everyone Can Create, we developed a campaign called Everyone Can Code, or Juan de la Cruz, that symbolizes every Filipino. So who is Everyone Can Code? We are a community um, to equip Filipinos the ways to learn the language of technology. We believe that every Filipino, regardless of age and gender and status, can be creative and can learn how to code. We would like to communicate that coding is an essential skill in today's age and time. So again, coding is a language of technology and promotes critical thinking and problem solving. Our mission is to build a community that equips every Filipino a coding skills. So with Everyone Can Code, we would like to move away from the mentality that coding is just for geeks, technical persons, or smart individuals. We wish to remove the intimidation in coding. And our vision is to grow and witness everyone to be technologically equipped in coding their application as they build a solid foundation that come to the aid of becoming a technopreneur in response to social change. So start developing an application. In getting started with app development or creating an application, we need to remember the 5 processes. So these 5 processes are planning, designing, development, testing, and App Store upload. Very important is the planning. In planning, we make a checklist of everything you want in your mobile app. These are the list, but not limited to. These are some of the example of checklists. First is you need to define your goal for the application. Ano bang gusto mong mangyari? Ano bang gusto mong gawin sa application? Is your app will answer the some or that will help the problem in your community, like segregation of trash? Are you going to create an app for your school para mas madali sila makapag-online training or online classroom? You also need to set your budget and timeline. Bakit kailangan ng budget? Of course, you need to sign up. If you are developing an app for an iPad or iOS, you need to sign up for a developer account. And that is $99. That is for 1 year. You also need to set a budget just in case you need to hire a developer or a creative artist to help you in creating an app. So once you have the budget, next thing you need to remember is the timeline. Kailan ba yung target date mo to create an app? Baka naman you are thinking of creating an app today, tapos kailangan mo na pala siya tomorrow. So hindi yun doable kasi you need to design, you need to develop an application. And that will take for about 3 months to 6 months or to a year, depending on the functionality of your application. Next thing is the platform. Magde-develop ka ba ng app for Apple devices lang? Or you are going to develop an app for Android as well? That's one thing that you need to think of. Next is the integration. Do you want to include camera integration on your app? Do you want to include some software integration like calendar, maps, or even Facebook sharing or Instagram sharing on your app? And there are a lot more. You need to plan well kung ano yung ilalagay mo or ano yung i-include mo on your mobile app. Once you have the checklist or complete checklist of everything you need on your new mobile app, next process is designing. Strong user interface design must be carefully planned first. You need to plan first the functionality. Ano ba yung content na ilalagay mo? What are the images? What are the designs? What are the text na you wanted to include on your app? Does it have a functionality of sending an email? Does it have a functionality of online payment if you're going to create an ordering app? You also need to consider the layout. Ano ba yung magiging itsura niyan? How appealing it is sa user. You need to remember that the user experience is very important whenever you create an application. Gaano ba ka complicated yung design niya? Lahat ba ng klase ng tao magagamit yung application mo? From kids to senior citizen? So you need to consider how simple your design is para alam mo rin kung magagamit ba siya ng mga bata or ng senior citizen. So you need to plan carefully the user interface. So para magkaroon kayo ng prototype or blueprint of your design, I have here some recommended application. The first three are iOS application. So you can download it for free on your iPhone or iPad. First is the Marvel. Second is Pop by Marvel. The third one is mockup.io application. So these three applications are available for free on your iOS devices. And the fourth one is Xcode that you can also download for free and only available on a Mac computer. So now that you carefully planned everything, the checklist, the design, this is now the time for you to move on with development. This part of process is laborious and time consuming. You need more time in coding or developing your mobile application. So in developing an application, you need to remember na you need to know at least one or two programming language. It depends kung ano yung i-develop mong app. Is it for Android or for iOS? So in this case, we will going to develop an app for iOS. So it's very important, it's very crucial that you need to learn the Swift programming language. There are a lot of languages available. Nandiyan na yung Java, PHP, Python, C++, and so many more. So in developing iOS application, you just need to know and learn Swift programming language. So, paano ba or where do I need to start in developing an application? So in developing an application, it all starts with a program called Xcode. This is for developing an iOS app. Xcode is where you design the user interface and write your code. Once you design the user interface and you write a code, that will turn to an iPhone or iPad application and upload it in the App Store. Going back to Xcode, Xcode is a free application from the App Store that comes with Swift language. This is pre-installed, and this is the language that you can use to write or to create an application for iOS. Let me show you the screen when you start creating an Xcode application. Okay, so I'll just quit some of the application first. Okay, now the first window that will show up whenever you open Xcode for the first time is the welcome to Xcode screen. Every time you develop a project or create a project, you will see the history of all the projects that you created on the right side of the welcome screen. So with this, you can either learn or you can play around with the language using the playground or create an Xcode project. Let us try first the playground. So get started with a playground. So with playground, that will allow you to choose blank canvas or blank project. And meron din namang available templates for creating a game, map, or single view. So this time, we'll just try to test lang some basic Swift language syntax. So let's choose blank and let's name it my playground. Automatically, you will be able to see here the sample declaration of variable, which is var keyword str with the value of hello playground. So as you can see, may syntax na dyan, available na, and the name of the syntax with the value. Automatically, malalaman mo na how you are going to declare a variable. So take note the difference with variable and constant. Variable, anytime you declare a variable, the result can be changed over time. But if you declare a constant, the result cannot be changed. So hindi mo mababago anything you declare on the constant. So the difference is ganito. I have here the sample variable, which is variable, the name is str, and the value is hello playground. I wanted to change the value of str to hello everyone instead of hello playground. So all I need to do is to call the name that was declared, which is a string, equals hello everyone. So for me to test if working ba yung code na tinype ko, I just need to click the play button sa lower left corner to execute the result of my playground or of my Swift syntax. So makikita nyo dito on the right side, this is the result. The first result of str variable is hello playground, but I change it now to hello everyone. So every time I call str, I want to print str, the value will always be hello everyone. So the difference of variable and constant, the keyword for variable is just var, and the keyword for constant is let. So let us change the var keyword to let. The constant name str is hello playground, but this time that will shows you an error message that you cannot assign another value to str because str is let or is a constant declaration. So every time you declare a constant, the value cannot be changed or you cannot assign a different value to it. So para saan ba ang playground? The Swift playground is a tool for you to test and play around with the codes na alam nyo. If you have any Python syntax or C++ syntax, you can type it here to test kung mag-work ba siya in Xcode. So now that you know some of the basic languages, you already know how to use the playground, let us now move on with creating a new project. Create tayo ng project. So instead of creating a playground file, create a project that will allow you to create an application na. So When you create a new project, that will shows you the list of templates available. Single view application, a template for a game, template for AR application, template for iMessage app, and etc. You can also create a project for watchOS, tvOS, Mac OS, and cross-platform, meaning create an app for iOS, watchOS, and Mac OS at the same time. So let me just show you how you can create a simple application in Xcode. If you are beginner, don't worry kasi magkikreate tayo ng simple application lang na hindi tayo magko-code. This is not a coding session. This is just to showcase to you what Xcode looks like and how you can easily develop an app in Xcode. So let's choose single view application and let's name it my info. So my project name or application name is my info. And for the team, this is if you have the developer account already, you can sign in here. So as you can see, I have my personal developer account, but I can choose also none if you don't have yet. And then for organization and organization name, if you're developing an app for an organization, might as well put in the organization name there or the company name or the school name. Organization identifier is automatically filled in the moment you input the organization name because organization identifier will be added as the bundle identifier. This is very important because the moment you upload it in the App Store will look for the bundle identifier. Bundle identifier is unique for every applications that you are uploading in the App Store. So as you can see, for the language, there are two available languages available in Xcode, but Objective-C is no longer recommended since we already have the Swift language. And for the user interface, you can choose either of the two, the Swift UI and the storyboard. If you are not that programmer or that expert in programming using Swift, you can choose storyboard. But if you are that heavy coders, you are that expert developer, you can choose the Swift Swift UI interface. In Swift UI interface, you are going to programmatically design everything like the buttons, the text or the label, the images. Unlike the storyboard, all you need to do is just drag and drop those icons. Drag and drop the buttons, the label, etc. And then click next for us to save it on the desktop and wait for it to process. So now it's a bit intimidating tingnan kasi sobrang dami nakikita. Like so many tools, so many texts na I don't know where to start. Actually, the first time that I saw Xcode, even though I graduated um, as a computer engineer na may language na ako or programming language na akong alam, na-intimidate din ako at first when I first saw Xcode. Pero as soon as I start exploring this window, I get used to it na. Simple lang pala mag-develop ng app for iPhone or iPad. Kasi hindi ko naman kailangan galawin lahat ng nakikita ko dito. Hindi ko kailangan baguhin yung information. Hindi ko kailangan intindihin lahat as a beginner. So, as a beginner, you just need to know lang some of the basics. You need to know how to run your project on an iOS simulator. You need to know how to add an object for you to design your app. And some simple Swift language kung simple lang naman yung project mo. So I'll show you how are you going to create a simple tab bar application? So since this is my info application, I just need to go to the storyboard. That is the fourth file on the left side of the screen. I just need to select main.storyboard para makita ko yung storyboard ng, or the screen of my iPhone. So, magde-develop ba ako ng app for iPhone or iPad lang? That I need to decide. So, if I want to create an iPhone app, I just stick to it na iPhone 11, or pwede nating palitan yung screen by clicking yung View As button sa baba para mabago natin yung device natin from iPhone 11 to iPhone 11 Pro Max or iPad Pro. Yan, naging iPad Pro na yung screen. Or iPhone 8 Plus. So it depends kung ano yung gusto mong makita at first. Pero by default, automatically, whatever you design on Xcode will always be compatible with any other iOS devices. Magbabago lang yan with the position of the object kasi nag-iiba-iba yung screen. So let me choose iPhone 11 Pro Max. And then, first thing na ginagawa ko lagi dito to test if my project or my Xcode application is working is to run my project first para mag-prompt or mag-show up agad yung simulator. So by clicking the run button, that will automatically build my project and that will open up the Xcode simulator. So let's wait. Once nag-open up yung Xcode simulator, that will shows you a widescreen iPhone kasi wala pa tayong ginagawa. So ang question dito is, do I need to have an iPhone or iPad when developing an app? No need na kasi meron namang Xcode simulator for you to test your project. So these simulators appear. So makikita nyo dito, this is really like an iPhone. Merong home button and other buttons on the left side. So, widescreen lang yan kasi widescreen pa lang din yung display ko or yung design ko. I can also click the button or home button para mag-close yung screen. So, this is really like an iPhone. Medyo mahirap lang i-navigate if you are using a trackpad on a MacBook. So now, let us design our storyboard or our screen. So ngayon, ang babaguhin ko muna is the background. I just need to click the white screen. And kung mapapansin nyo, if you click the gray, nagbabago dito sa right side, yung attributes inspector niya. This is actually depends on kung ano yung object na selected nyo sa storyboard. Since I select the white screen of my iPhone, that will show me all the attributes or property of my screen or of my window or the iPhone screen. So kung gusto kong baguhin yung background color, just look for background and then change it to let me just change it to green. There. The background color changed to green. And since this is my home page, I wanted to add like a text, a welcome text to welcome every users that uses my application. So all I need to do is to add a label object by clicking the library button. Library button is the plus sign at the top. And then look for label, drag and drop onto the screen. So sa ngayon, ang makikita nyo po is label pa lang. You can either zoom using the plus sign sa baba or using your trackpad, pinch in, pinch out para mag-zoom in yung screen. So I wanted to change the label to welcome everyone. Okay, so double click lang for you to change the value of the label. Or you can also select the label and then look for the attributes inspector on the right side. So kung kanina, binago natin yung background screen or background color ng screen to green, this time let's change the font property of the label. So change natin yung color, wag na natin palitan yung color. Change na lang natin yung font into a custom font. Instead of using system font, choose custom and choose other font available, and then change natin yung font size and also the alignment para naka-center align siya. What I like about Xcode is yung usability niya. It's really easy to use, especially for aligning an object kasi merong guide na makikita kayo if it's centered, aligned, or hindi. Okay, so I have here now the home screen for my app. Let's run the project. Let's see kung sa simulator ba mag-a-appear yung welcome everyone and the green background. There. Next, I wanted to create an application na naka-tab bar. So instead of me programmatically designing the tab bar window is also available if you click the editor menu sa taas, embed in, and then Tabbar Controller. Automatically, Tabbar Controller will appear that will control this first screen of mine, which is the welcome everyone screen. And then you will notice na merong item na sa baba. That is the Tabbar icon. So, pwede kong baguhin yung item name and the Tabbar item icon by selecting that and then go back to Attributes Inspector. So, selecting the Tabbar item and icon, that will allow me to change the bar item. Let's change it to home. And then since this is the home page, I'll change the image. What I like about it also is the available icons na meron na agad sa Xcode 11. So for Xcode 10 and below, let me correct me if I'm wrong. Wala pa yung mga pre-installed images that you can use for Tabbar na kailangan nyo pang mag-download separately. But in Xcode 11, this is now available for you to use. So let me use the house icon. Since this is a home page, I'll use the house icon. Okay, so I only have one screen here. In adding another screen, we need to open the library again, object library again, and we need to look for the view controller. So adding the view controller, drag and drop, the same thing as what we did with the label. And then for us to add an item, bar item again, we just need to click from Tabbar Controller, drag it to the second view controller, and then look for relationship segue na view controller. So this time, the second view nagkaroon na ng second item, and the Tabbar Controller, makikita nyo dalawa na yung Tabbar icons. So do the same thing. Change the icon and the title. Contact us, and then let's look for phone icon. Phone circle. All right, and then just do the same thing. Add some information like the text or even the image if you want to add your image. And then let's run the project. Okay, so this shows um, the sample application. I did not put any code. These are all objects. So kung Swift UI ang gamit ko, lahat to ipoprogrammatically design ko. But since available naman siya sa storyboard, all I need to do is to just drag and drop. So this is a tab bar application. Kulang lang ako ng information sa contact us. But basically, this is an example of a project na pwede nyo i-create using Xcode. So now that you create an application on an Xcode, this is the time na you need to test the application on different iOS device. As I mentioned, hindi nyo naman talaga kailangan ng iOS device to test it because of the Xcode simulator that you can use to simulate your project on an iOS device, tvOS, and watchOS. Meron ding test flight application available na if you want other people to test your project or your application on their device, you just need to use the test flight that is available on the App Store para other people can send you a feedback if ano pa ba yung kailangan mong baguhin with your project or with your application. And that's the time that you can now upload the App Store. So that is the basic thing or basic process that you need to consider when developing a mobile application, especially for iOS. So as I mentioned a while ago, due to pandemic, hindi na kami makapag-online roadshow. That is why we come up with an online coding training every Monday of July and August. So, ang dami, ilang schedule na yung lumipas. We still have two more schedules for August. That is August 10 and 17. So for you to join our online coding training, you just need to like and follow our Facebook page, Everyone Can Code, or follow also Instagram at Everyone Can Code for you to join and watch the Facebook Live online and learn the basic Swift programming language using the Swift Playground. There, again, for you to join, you can either go to Facebook page, Instagram, email our email address, pbsi@powermaxcenter.com. You can also contact the number on the screen, or you can also scan this QR code para you can join easily to our Facebook page and watch our Facebook Live online training. You might win some prizes whenever you answer some questions or other exercises that the trainer will ask you to do. And there. Yeah. So if you need or if you have any more questions, you can contact the number again or email us some inquiries about programming if you want to learn more about programming language or creating an application for iOS. There. Thank you and have a great day.